Hi there, my name's Bonnita and today I'm going to be demonstrating how to colour light greyscale using this design by Maud Lamoine from Colouring Heaven collection Legends of Japan, which is on sale now. I have drawn a circle around the area that we're going to be colouring in, and it's really just to show you how simple and easy and how beneficial actually having the grayscale detail already put in can be for the colorist. So the colours that we are going to be using today are from Faber-Castell and they are Polychromos. The colours that I will be using are Salmon, Payne's Grey, Cold Grey 4, Cadmium Orange, Light Cobalt Turquoise and Crimson, and we may add a little bit of glitter at the end. I'm not 100% sure yet, so I have a little bit of a selection here for Sakura Jelly Roll pen or just a standard silver writing pen. So I'm going to start on this padding area here, which is his shoulder armour, and I'm just going to colour over the entire area with my light Cobalt Turquoise. I'm just going to apply a little bit more pressure where those grey marks were, where the grey shading is already in, and it just helps create with that grey shading underneath just a little bit of depth and a little bit more shape. If you wanted to make them appear a little bit more 3D, you can grab your Payne's Grey and just come in on the very edge and just pop a little bit of extra light shading on top of that if you wanted to. While I have the blue in my hand, I'm going to do all the other sections that I want the same colour. So I want to take some sections of his collar here, and I also want to use the blue. And you can see that even though we have some nice grayscaling underneath, which is quite a bonus to help colourists decipher maybe sometimes where shadows should be falling, that actually it makes very little difference to the colour that we're putting down. We need to do these pillar bits in here. I think I'm going to leave it like that for the blue. Just going to add a little bit of extra of the Payne's Grey underneath here where that shoulder piece will be casting a shadow. And again, it's already pre-indicated with the grayscale on the image. Okay. With the Cold Grey 4, I quite like the idea of this outer piece maybe being metallic. So I thought we would use the Cold Grey 4 just to indicate that it's a metal rather than a fabric. Just adding a little bit of extra depth in those corners there, and again where the grey shading was underneath, and again it just adds a little bit of depth. So I'll grab my Payne's Grey and we're just going to do a little bit under here, this bit here. Whilst I have the Cold Grey, I'm going to do this strapping that comes down here. And you'll notice I've left all the buckles and attachments white, and that's because I think I would like to go in with maybe a silver pen afterwards. Of course, that is optional. And you'll notice that we have a little bit of strapping across here, so I'm just going to do the middle section there. Now for the colour of the fabric underneath here, I think we're going to go for the crimson. But before I start on that, I am going to just go over with a bit of the grey, so the cold grey 4, just to give it a light base. And then we're going to grab our Payne's grey and we're just going to strengthen where the line work already is and just pop a little bit of shading in the corners. And again, it just helps it make it look a little bit more 3D. You could always colour it brown or gold or whatever takes your fancy. So the shoulder plates up here, we're going to add a little bit of extra colour in. So I'm going to grab my crimson and we're going to colour the first one in crimson. Crimson has very much a purple hue to it. So a very, very nice colour that complements is orange. So to make those colours stand out a little bit more, we're going to go straight in with our Payne's grey and we're going to cover this whole section behind it. So while we've got the Payne's grey, I'm going to do the outer section of these straps. And then we are going to fill the entire fabric inside with our salmon colour. Just putting a little bit of extra pressure on here and there, and it helps give us a little bit of streaking, which is a really, really good way of increasing the depth in the texture. But again, the joy of the grayscale is there's a lot of indication there of where you can go darker, and it adds a really nice soft tone to the drawings underneath. At this point, I'm going to grab our crimson and I'm going to add the crimson into the collar section here. A little bit still peeking out there, so I think I will make that one blue. We've got a little bit of strapping or ribbon that's coming down, so I think I'm going to add crimson to that as well, and that adds a little bit of pop of colour next to what will be a metallic looking eagle or bird. So we'll grab our orange, fill that beacon, and I'm going to fill the inside of that beak with some Payne's grey. Orange eye, and I think we're going to do a blue wing. I'm just going to go under his little feathers here with the Payne's grey. Then we're going to grab our cold grey 4. blend out where we put the Payne's grey there, so a little bit more pressure on the pencil, and how again it just helps create a little bit of a 3D feel. A little bit under the wing here. And then at the back of his head here, we're going to use the crimson. I think I'm going to fill the eye in there. Okay, so all that leaves is the little feathers, which we shall be using our salmon and our orange, and we're going to use the orange in the top half of the feathers. And then in the bottom half we're going to use the salmon. So we're just going to alternate between two pencils while we blend those in. Back to the orange. Back to the salmon. Now, just to make them a little bit more 3D, we are going to grab our crimson. We're just going to pop in a couple of shadows underneath where these feathers overlap. I think I've decided for these little accent pieces that I'm going to use the Jelly Roll Clear. And we're just going to add some little sparkles, which gives it that extra metallic feel on the areas that you want to put them. And yeah, it just gives it that extra little pizzazz. You can see here, just adding these really lovely bits in here just has a little bit of dimension and interest to your colouring. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration, and if you'd like to colour this design, Heaven Collection Legends of Japan is available from the Colouring Heaven shop. The link is in the description below, and please don't forget to like, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future Colouring Heaven videos.